At one repair shop in downtown Kearney, the owner has been restoring memories and helping folks keep time for more than 2 decades. NTV's Brian Gnuse visits the Time Center.
I consulted with some of my close friends and said, hey, I'm going to go open up a clock shop. And they looked at me and said, you're going to do what? How much clocks are in Kearney for you to fix? You know, people do even have clocks in their houses? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Well, I'm still 20 years later, I'm still fixing clocks.
Iranian-born Sadat Hosseini fixes clocks, watches, and timepieces of any kind. In Iran, he worked as a diesel mechanic. Then, when he was waiting to leave the country, he spent a few years working with a clockmaker and watchmaker in Pakistan. He said at that point he had no idea what his future would hold when he came to the U.S. in 1988.
I wanted to go finish my education, and this was just the fun part. I had not realized that this will become my bread and butter.
He arrived speaking no English, but soon got a job repairing watches at a jewelry store in North Platte. He majored in aviation at the University of Nebraska at Kearney and even became a flight instructor. Eventually, though, he decided to go back to his love of things that tell time. These days, Sadat has projects lined up waiting for his time.
I truly love what I do. Sometimes it's challenging, but I've seen all corners of it all these years, and just have to be patient with it.
Sadat can repair about any type of device that tells time, from ones with very, very tiny parts to a lot bigger ones.
And this is one at a time. That's all it takes. I do have a lot of work, but I just do one at a time, and if it gets into a problem, I move on to a next one and then come back at it again.
So, for nearly every one, he takes them completely apart. This interesting machine cleans the individual watch parts before he puts them back together. He says every device needs to leave the shop in perfect running order. But that doesn't mean things always go smoothly.
You run into snags, you have problems, and I'm one of those guys that, you know, I just simply don't give up. And I spend hours and hours and hours on that project until I get it.
His current biggest challenge is a 238-year-old clock he has taken apart multiple times.
When you work on it, when I sit and try to fix and find what the problem is, I can't help but think the stories that this clock can tell us if it could only speak.
For many of the larger clocks he works on, Sadat will also do a house call to pick up and reinstall the parts.
It's a big piece of furniture.
You know, what would I do? I mean, there's that nice clock and nothing working. So it's just a miracle that we've got somebody here in Kearney that can take care of something like this that's that old.
What I do when I generally go, I only pull the movement out of the clock and I bring it to the shop with the weights and pendulum, where I can work on it. After it gets finished, I can put it on the test stand and test it.
So projects keep coming in and going out. The funny thing is, he only wishes he had more time to get them all done.
I love it. Every day I come to work, I enjoy it. I wish I had another 30 years that I could come back and fix a lot of the clocks and timepieces from the past and get them going.
Reporting in Kearney, I'm Brian Gnuse.
If you would like to learn more about the Time Center, please head to our website at nebraska.tv for some additional information and videos with the owner.